All right, today we're going to talk about clamping, a different clamping method for segmented pieces. I'm a relatively new to segmented turning, and you look at all the available clamping methods to hold the pieces together. I don't like rubber bands because they never hold their shape. They're hard to handle. You look at the traditional band clamp, hose clamp, works great as long as the size of the piece that you're clamping up is relatively small to fit within the diameter of the clamp that's available. But what I've done is tried to think outside the box a little bit, and we're going to use a traditional screw clamp with a locking mechanism on one side, a cam clamp like a belt buckle on the other, and then they're attached through the end of the screw clamp through what is a Romex 9/16 inch staple that drives in. The nice thing that I like about this is that the banding is relatively inexpensive. If you talk nicely with the folks at Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll give it to you because they just put it in their waste bin. There's two sizes that you can get. There's a 1/2 inch size, is the size that you want to use. They also have a 9/16 inch band, which they tend to use on lumber, but that's too big for the staples that we use. So try to stick with the 1/2 inch size. The nice thing is that it's very flexible. So depending upon how big a piece that you've got, you just expand out your strapping to fit the size that you want to do. So what I tend to do is I'll dry fit first with my segmented pieces to kind of get a rough idea of what I need, and then I'll take my band clamp and I'll put it around the piece and draw down the strap to where it approximates the size that I want to have, and then I can bring my cam buckle in and lock it down. Now at this point the jaws are spread wide open so that I can subsequently tighten up on those jaws, and then as I do, then it gives me the ability to make adjustments, continue to tighten down as we go through, and then snug it up nice and firm so that when you're done, you've got your piece clamped together. The nice thing about the nylon strapping tape is glue doesn't stick to it, so that when you're through, you don't have to worry about it getting caught up on squeeze out that you may have. And again, it's a relatively inexpensive way to make a very flexible clamp that gives you a wide latitude of sizes that you can use in your segmenting. You're only really kind of limited by the size of the bowl that you're trying to put together, the segment. Again, very simple, inexpensive items, readily available. If you're embarrassed about going to your Home Depot to take their scraps off of them, you can buy a strapping tape through Amazon. Again, it's a 1/2 inch nylon strapping tape. Tremendous tensile strength that you can exert with this. I think this was $5 for 60 feet, and then I use a 9/16 inch Romex staple It's just a little wider than the tape, so that the tape, you don't struggle trying to get it through. And additionally, the 9/16, the staples are a little bit longer, so you can drive them a little bit further into the screw clamp for a secure staple on the end. As we look at the end pieces, you have to have a stationary lock on one side, and what I found is the simplest way to create that lock is to take like a 5/8 inch dowel rod, cut them about 1.5 inches long. You can, since you're wood turners, you want to round the end over. Don't leave the art out of it. And then turn around and make a couple of vertical cuts at the other end, so that they will slide over the strapping tape as you loop it over to give you a secure grip on one side. Nothing special about the cuts. They're maybe 3/4 inch long, and whatever kerf that you get out of your bandsaw is perfect. I don't recommend doing it on a table saw. That's probably a little more than I could muster to do. But a bandsaw works nice, or just a traditional handsaw, if you want to cut it that way. So we're going to start off taking our screw clamp. These we happened to got. They were on sale at Grizzly. It's a 4-inch clamp, screw clamp. It's a very convenient size to use. And then what we do at the end is we'll mark where we're going to put our Romex staples in on each of the sides of the screw clamp through the center, to give it as much meat to bite into as we can, so that we don't worry about it splitting out. And what I also do is, as I start, after I've marked where the holes need to be, then I'll take and drill a pilot hole with a 1/16 inch diameter drill bit. The actual Romex staples are slightly less than 1/8 of an inch, so you'll have a nice snug fit as you drive them into the end of the screw clamp. So just take and carefully, after you've marked it, position your drill and drill in approximately the length of the staple. I will tell you, it's easier to do on your drill press than it is to do it by hand. If you don't pre-drill, the likelihood that the staple will split the wood is very, very likely. I can give you first-hand experience of that. So once you've got the holes in there, then you'll just take your staple, your Romex staple, position them over the holes that you had just drilled, and drive it in. Steve's coming to my rescue with something that helps me avoid some of the shock. Now that's split, so probably we'll have to go and use a little larger drill bit. You got a pair of pliers. So you'll want to leave like 1/4 of an inch length to the outside to make it easily to hold. And then we'll go back in on this one. This one, once we're finished, we'll have to put some super glue where it's split out. I have to do that. We'll drill another one just to set that out. And again, all we've done is take and drill the hole, put in the staples, leave them gapped at the end as you've got it. Now, your strapping tape can come in any form. What I tend to do is use the Home Depot high dollar off of their boxes, and then as you're sizing the length of the strapping tape that you need, wrap it around your piece that you've got you want to bind up, and then as you do that, add about 6 inches to handle 6 to 8 inches to handle the clamping mechanisms on the end. Snip your tape off, and then as you look at the end pieces with the block to secure it, all you want to do is just go through one loop, reverse it, come back through the other side, and that's going to hold it as you come through the tape. Now, you'll want to feed your tape through the staples, from the outside in, and then what I want to do is keep the tab to the inside so that it's not in the way and interfering with your piece that you're trying to clamp. So that now 1/2 of the clamp is locked into place, and that provides more than enough pressure on the part once you begin to clamp down. And then take the other end of your tape and again feed from the inside out, creating your loop. And then on that loop, you'll then take a cam lock buckle. Again, you can find those on the internet. Buy pack of 20 for $20. And then on your cam buckle, feed your strap through the bottom of the cam buckle with the lever being on the top, and then as you begin to tighten up the piece, to tighten down on the segmented ring that you have, take your loop, you wrap it around your rings, pull the loop tight, finger tight with your hand, and then move the cam buckle up toward the end, and then as you set it, with the screw clamp open, tighten it down, and now as you've got your piece in there and with it open, now you can handle easily gluing up your pieces on your board that you're going to set them up on. Glue them up, set them in, and then as they're glued, you slowly tighten the screw clamps, adjusting to make sure that all of your pieces fit the way you want to. Your clamp will, screw clamp will be across a joint such that you've got full pressure on the board, and then you just slowly tighten up the clamp until you get them nice and firm, and you've got your piece held in place. I'll tend at this point to take my hammer, drive my pieces flat against my setup block, and then you set it aside to let it dry. Again, the beauty is the length of the strapping tape is easily changeable to accommodate whether you're doing a 2-inch diameter ring or a 12-inch diameter ring or a 16-inch diameter ring. You just add length, the overall length of your strapping tape to accommodate the size ring that you have, and you get a nice uniform pressure all around the block that block of segmented pieces that you're trying to assemble, and you get a uniform pressure as you go through. You can creep up on slowly as you tighten it down, so you can make sure that all your joints line up properly, and then finish up by tightening it up. You're not going to pull the clamps the staples out, because basically you're pulling at right angles on those. You're not going to pull the clam buckle slide through there, because the buckle itself has a knurled ring that it's bar that it's tightened up against, and the tighter you pull it, the more those dig in. And then again, with the small dowel that you used on the other end with the strap, again, you're not going to pull that loose. So it's relatively quick and easy to do. It's very inexpensive. The parts are readily available, and you have a wide range of flexibility as to what you can clamp up. So go out and make some, and use them, because they're easy to assemble. They're easy to make.